whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people. Whose car are we gonna take?
Hello. Thank you for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show, where we talk about everything under the sun. I'm very excited that today we'll have Chip Franklin on, and we just love having Chip. And I believe his new shows on this here YouTube's are going to be launching this week. So we'll get an update from him, get his take on all things politics and everything under the sun like we like to do. I know I saw something in the comments. Hold on. Where is it? John's not happy about foods. Who comes up with these days? So John Slade writes in, who comes up with these days for every food and drink under the sun? Because apparently, Kim, today is National Hot Chocolate Day. It's also
perfect.
It's I know. This is the perfect day to make some nice warm hot chocolate, right? It's also Inspire Your Heart with Art Day. But
whatever.
And then it's also National Backward Day. So, John, you have to start liking these because it's National Backward Day. Tomorrow you can start hating them all over again. Yeah, so, and then tomorrow, just to let you guys know, and I've been getting your emails and your tweets and everything like that, because believe me, it pisses me off too. Loretta Lynch will be back on the show. The latest news, of course, is it may not happen. Where they're going to be basing our PG&E bills off of our income. Remember, Loretta did not like that at all. So we'll be discussing that with her. Our bills are coming with the fee increase, although another fee increase is apparently on the way. So we'll be discussing all of that. If you have any questions for Loretta Lynch, send them to me. Of course, the email. Let's just throw it all up there, get the business out of the way. TheNikkiMedoroShow@gmail.com. TheNikkiMedoroShow@gmail.com is how you email me. And if you want to donate to the show and you want to go to paypal.com, just hit the send button and put that email in, TheNikkiMedoroShow@gmail.com. Make sure you are subscribed to the show. Hit that little bell underneath the screen, and it'll remind you when we're up and running. And if I throw new content or new shorts up or whatever, that'll let you know. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button at every show we air. Super Chat also live, and some of you have already been donating. Spencer, as always, with a $5 donation, and I'm not taking you for granted, Spencer. I love it. I love it. I love it. Spencer writes, I can't believe those Trump trolls are paying all his legal bills. I can totally buy it. I will play you a little bit of a clip. Maggie Haberman commenting on it, and I think she's absolutely right. Joe Fong, also thank you, Joe Fong, for the $10 super sticker. It's people like you that help us keep this show going. And of course, to all my Medorables out there, please join the cool club. Go to TheNikkiMedoroShow.com, TheNikkiMedoroShow.com. Our Patreon link is right there, and you can sign up for any amount that you want to, and we really do appreciate it because, again, we're 100% crowdfunded at this point, and we can use all the support we can get. So thank you guys so very much. Also today, in addition to Chip Franklin, we'll be talking about a bunch of stuff. My heart goes out to teachers. You guys know I'm a huge supporter of teachers. I think they should get paid $1 million a year. It pisses me off to no end that they don't get paid enough. But what also pisses me off is when they finally do get something, they get something to really help them out, and all of a sudden it's clawed right back. And it happened in Oklahoma. These teachers got a huge grant or a huge bonus of money. And these weren't all teachers. These were teachers in areas like special ed that they were really seeking out these teachers. So people stepped up. They became a teacher. They got this huge bonus for doing so. And then now the state is saying, oh, can I have that money back?
No.
Months after they sent it. Now, I mean, I would definitely say, look, if you gave me the money, there's about a 24-hour period that you have to get that money back. And I'm not being generous. After I sent my bank account, I started daydreaming. You know what I mean? Like, I've made plans with that money. and months after you're going to come at me? No.
I mean,
So
was it an obvious error? Or
it
was it
shouldn't
money
have
they
been.
said that they were due and then they
Yes.
gave them?
Yes. So we will get into that. And again, have you ever, I kind of wanted to have fun with it, even though it's a really sad story, but like how long does, a CEO, a company, a state, an agency have a bank, like a bank error in your favor? Remember Monopoly? Bank error in your error. You get $100. Like there should be a window, a universal window where it's like, sucks to be you that you gave me that money, but it's mine now. It's like possession. It's mine. I have it. You sent it. That is not my problem. And also, we're talking about teachers here, teachers that are going into fields that are hard, special ed, ESL or some of these areas where kids need a little more specialized help. And yet there's not a lot of teachers that are going to step into that because you know what? They don't get paid enough. So we'll discuss that. Of course, we will touch on Trump. I also am following, and when Chip comes on, we'll talk about this. And this could really affect what we do on this show. On one hand, we talk about social media, right? And, the harms of it with our kids and things like that. But repealing Section 230, okay? This is basically something that gives Facebook, X, all these YouTube kind of cover for what's on their platform. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just providing the platform. I can't control what people say on it. If they repeal it, on one hand, I like it, right? Or I want more moderation, or I want something like that. Well, on the other hand, it fundamentally changes how we would even do the show, right? I mean, people could say things, people can write things, what we say, what we cover. I mean, I don't feel like I'm a very controversial show, but who knows where this can go? So it's kind of this balance. And Chip, of course, also Kim, Mark Thompson, John Daly. I mean, being on these social media platforms, we're kind of free to do, to an extent, whatever we want to talk about. Now, there's certain phrases which we've learned, right? You can't say, or you get dinged, obviously with music and things like that. But there are consequences to that. And is the consequence worth it? We'll talk about that. And then EVs, electric vehicles. I saw this headline, Kim, and I was cracking up because my dad was literally saying this. My dad, who diametrically politically opposite than me, but he made his statement. He's like, everybody wants to go all in on EVs, all in on EVs. He's like, I think the best car is what I have, a Prius, a hybrid. And the numbers are showing the same thing. This article in the Wall Street Journal, GM went all in on EVs, but dealers say buyers want hybrids.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, make my hybrid even better. I don't know. I mean, make it so the newer models, use more of the battery or charge the battery better. So I'm using even less of the gas part, right? But don't take away the gas part. I need the gas part. You don't know why I need the gas part? Because of all these people freezing their ass in parts of the U.S. where their Teslas are dying, right? Because I want to go on a long road trip and I'm stuck in traffic because of a major accident and I'm seeing my battery dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. That's a problem that I don't know that these EV companies can fix fast enough, given, especially here in California, the deadline within the next decade or the end of this decade to stop producing combustible engine cars. So if you want to give up the 100% combustible engine car, okay, but don't you take my hybrid. I think that is definitely what needs to do. So when we talk about this later on, I want you guys to tell me what kind of car is going to be your next car, right? Like, what are you sincerely looking at? So, Kim, I know your daughter and my daughter are the same age. Are you guys buying her a car? Have we talked about this? Are you guys getting her a car?
I don't know. I mean, probably not.
So you're going to share your car?
I don't know the answer. I don't know
how. You know that it's next year, right?
I do, but I don't know how much. Like, I didn't drive the day I turned 16.
Oh, I did. Give me the keys to my test out.
I don't know if she's going to be that kid that wants to, like, the minute she's ready to able to drive, she'll drive.
Right.
She's of the mind that she's getting a Jeep.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Your daughter
And I'm
wants
like,
the Jeep.
no, you're not getting anything unless you have money to put forward to pay for this thing.
Right.
And so I don't know. The jury's still out. It's one of these things. I know it's coming, but I don't have a plan.
So my friend is in the throes of trying to find car insurance. So her daughter is is 6 months older than my daughter. They grew up together. But of course, she's, getting her permit soon in August. She's getting her permit. And now my friend's like, oh my God, it's a couple $100 more a month, apparently, just to put your kid on your insurance. Now, that said, kid is going to have to start working their butt for gas money and helping with the insurance, which I think is a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marley's excited, although I don't know how good of a driver she is. Well, she's only tried once. I should be completely fair. That is not fair. Her first time behind the wheel of a car, we were in a gigantic empty parking lot, and she wanted to drive the car, and she was completely freaked out. Like, she forgot her right from her left. Like slammed on the brakes so hard that I spilled my coffee. You know what I mean? So I definitely want her to have experience. Dora writes, my grandson is going to be 18, already has a car, and doesn't want to drive. Our friend Brett Burkhardt, his daughter had zero desire to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Janice says, my daughter has no interest in driving. I mean, how do they get around? Do they just not want to drive? Is it just like, I'm just hanging out on my phone on social media all day? I don't know about that. Okay, let's bring in our friend. I want to see what it was like for him, back in the olden days when he had children that were of driving age. Chip Franklin is here. So I was talking about, we're going to be talking later on about how people want EVs versus want hybrids versus EVs. And I don't know what I have a hybrid, and my daughter's already, kind of.
I ride a horse.
Oh, back in the day you did. Yeah. But no, I mean, I don't know what kind of, when your boys were just driving, did you get them a car or did they share your car?
Good question. I think I just passed them along our crappy cars, and then we get new cars. And although when we moved to California from DC, there's a school here called Torrey Pines, which is like where, what's the famous Tony Hawk and everybody went.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so he was, and the neighborhood is also served by a really rich area too. So he was parking his car in between like a Maserati and a McLaren, and he was driving a 1996 Honda, so it was kind of embarrassing. But there's that whole thing too about, I mean, I'm not a car guy. I'm A to B guy, I don't give a crap. Exactly. And I know you are too. I've been in your car.
Does it go? Is it going to get me there? I'm done.
Oh my God. I got a couple of rides from Nikki occasionally down to San Jose when she was going home to catch a plane. And I'd get in her car and it'd be like, oh my God, it looked like a bomb went off.
Not that bad. I just lived in my car and you know it. Are you on? Hold on. Are you on your microphone? You sound hollow. You sound like your mic's not on.
Oh, well, heck, maybe that's it. Hang on. Keep talking.
Okay. So,
sorry.
No, Chip Franklin. I'll never forget this one time. It was me, Chip Franklin, and our friend Heather, who worked at KGO with us. That's better.
Yeah, much better. Sorry
there
about that.
You go. Okay, and remember,
sorry.
I had to make that U-turn. We were going somewhere in San Francisco. I think we were doing a live broadcast. And I made this U-turn to park. And Chip, you're freaking out. You're like, get me out of this car. right now.
Well, the car experience, depends. I've, living in California, obviously it's a car state, right?
Right.
But, I have lived in New York. I've lived in areas where they have subways and all. And it's, I love the car, I mean, I just as soon not sit next to a guy who's got some disease that came over from Europe in the 1400s. I'd rather be in my own car with my own music.
But are you going to get an EV as your next car?
Yeah. But I'm not going to get a Tesla though.
I still like my hybrid. I feel like I don't want to go 100% EV.
Well, I'll have gas cars. So when the apocalypse happens, I'll have one or two choices. And then my horse.
I don't know. You might have to shoot it and eat it.
Horse poop is amazing. It doesn't smell like regular poop because they don't eat meat. I like
How
horses.
often are you smelling horse
Oh,
crap?
when my wife and I hike every day, there's horses right next to it, and the horses come along, and the
Ew.
horses. It's so funny because you go on next door, and people are going, "Couldn't they put a diaper on the horse?" Shut up! I hate.
There
next
is a
door neighbors.
basket. There is a
Oh.
basket that they use for the parades. Speaking of the parades, guess who's getting a parade? Hopefully, fingers crossed, on Valentine's Day.
I'm going with Taylor and Kelsey, baby. Sorry.
How could you?
Yeah,
Are
sorry.
you freaking serious? You know what? Go ahead, because your Baltimore Ravens sucked anyway, so you can go.
No, I'm not a
to
Ravens
Kansas
fan. I'm a Commanders fan. We suck even worse. I hated her. I was so rooting against her. I was so rooting against the Baltimore just
Oh.
because they got a statue in front of their stadium of a two-time felon who remember can't even remember Ray Lewis. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
it's a shit town. Pardon my French. It really
well,
is.
I mean, the Commanders, yes, not well. Why can't you go for the Niners? What the hell is wrong with you? Everyone's going for Kansas City. Everyone thinks that Patrick Mahomes, and I will say Mahomes.
No,
is
I don't really
good.
care. I mean, look, I like Brock Purdy a lot, and I mean, I like Kittle, and I hate Bosa, but I like
Oh, how can you hate Bosa? Shut up.
he's a trumper.
I don't care.
I
Is
know,
he
but I
really
can't.
though?
Yeah,
Is he really?
yeah.
Are you
yeah.
sure?
Check it out. Anyway, I mean, look,
God,
I
he's
can mess
still
up. I can mess
good.
up the greatest little thing, and I'm sorry I did that for anybody out there. But
you didn't
no,
actually. I'm still a Niner fan.
yeah, it's it's funny too. Like, I mean, just this whole thing with Swift and all.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
I'm such a supporter of that, and I just love it when I see people like Dairy Queen, that little doughy-eyed rat f. I'm talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I see people going after them. It's and I don't get the Republican Party. This is a party that does nothing but bitch about the federal government until they want the federal government to do something.
Yep.
So she's bitching. She was selling. Did you see this video going on there when she was testifying? She was bitching about border security,
Right.
and wanting the Homeland Security chief fired. Right.
Yeah, Mayorkas impeached. They're moving forward with it.
At the same time, she's selling defund the FBI T-shirts for $30 on our website.
She's a grifter. They're all grifters.
Oh yeah, totally. But not just that. It's honestly there's some mental issues going on there. These are people whose parents were closely related. Their family tree looks like a palm tree going up. It's very, very incestuous. And
well, with the whole
you were talking about electric cars. I'm sorry, I got
no. Let's go into it because the whole impeachment of Mayorkas is quite funny that they're saying, oh my God, you're not doing anything about border security, and yet the House is blocking any sort of progress on this bipartisan border bill.
Right.
They literally don't want to do anything because it's a presidential year. If you don't want to do anything about a crisis, then you don't consider it a crisis.
My favorite is when you look at just when you look at like DeSantis, right? Did he really think that people would choose him over Disney? Did he really think that people would go, oh, I got to go with this?
Yeah, he looks like a lot of fun. Not Disneyland, not Disney World.
Yeah.
DeSantis.
And then I think about it when Texas says they want to secede. I'm like, really?
Please, yeah.
With no Medicare, Social Security, federal tax dollars in a state that doesn't have, it would become the same. It would become the shithole country that Grandpa Fruit Loops has been complaining about forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, exactly. Did you see the Maggie Haberman interview? And I think it was in the New York Times. I'm going to show this video real quick with you. This is Maggie Haberman talking about asshat himself, Donald Trump. And I'm not surprised by this. And I think that Maggie Haberman is exactly right when she's talking about all of the money that Trump is using and where it's actually coming from.
This political action committee was seeded with money that Donald Trump started raising after he lost the 2020 election on his false claims of widespread fraud. And then money had to go somewhere. A bunch of it went here. Did his donors know this is what they were going to be paying for? No. Would they all mind? I doubt it, because some of them thought they were paying for some kind of legal fight. And I'm sure in their mind, the number of his supporters who I talked to in Iowa and New Hampshire who described the legal cases against him as illegitimate or something they didn't believe in, I'm not sure they would care about that, but it is worth noting it is not his money. So
it's not his money, but he doesn't care. And I'm not
what? If everybody had to spell illegitimate in order to vote, the Democrats would win by 75%. Freaking idiots.
I mean, I don't know. Trump, the fact that his popularity doesn't wane given everything. And it's not like it's the
It's an
Democratic Party in the
incredibly
courtroom.
upsetting
It's
and
crazy.
disturbing, development that this country is as stupid as, we possibly could have imagined. And in pockets of it that, I watch a lot of that stuff. There's a friend of mine who does a Twitter site called Decoding Fox News. And
Oh, interesting.
yeah, the stuff that some people should check it out. It's good. She posts it every day and she watches 5 hours of it every
Ugh,
day and writes about it.
can't pay me enough.
That's her moniker is I watch it so you don't have to. But I mean, to listen to the lies and the things, the obfuscation, there's just a few people on there that that push back. And but I mean, and that's not even the News Nation, Newsmax, OAN stuff that,
I
that have come out
know.
here. And I knew these guys. I knew Sean Hannity in the 80s, and I knew Charlie Kirk when he first started out, and he wasn't, it wasn't quite as obviously, a lying, disingenuous little prick that he is now. But, the stuff they say, he says about Taylor Swift and others.
Oh, I know. He's telling it, Taylor. I love how Piero is saying it too. Taylor, be careful. Don't endorse Biden, as if she's going to endorse Trump, as if she doesn't have to say she's endorsing Biden. She just has to mention all of the Democratic policies that she supports, and everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, you're supporting Biden. She doesn't have to come out. I am a little worried. There was one headline where they were saying there's already a holy war against Taylor Swift brewing if she does in fact come out against Donald Trump. That's cult mentality, and that's frightening for someone like her.
Sure it is. Well, I mean, she has to, she's not going to be like Georgia O'Keeffe and just never go out on the streets, right? I mean, she's going to have to. She's not.
Exactly.
But she has to live a life, and it's dangerous. I mean, you have people. She gets stalkers all the time. They say keep arresting this one guy.
Yeah, who went to her house right after he got released from jail. He stalked her again. If he turns out to be a MAGA cult member, I mean, come on. It's scary.
I don't have a gun in my house, but I got a lot of baseball bats near doorways. And I mean, it's, somebody sent me a picture of my house via Hotmail account just to threaten me.
Just to threaten you. That's frightening.
And, and it's interesting that that the people that do this are the biggest cowards, and again, the Trump militia, the people that we're talking about here, there are people. I think we're way past the checkbook Republican, right? That voted for Trump. I mean, if you're still voting for Trump now, first of all, it's stupid to do the checkbook thing here because, they have absolutely no aspirations to control federal spending.
Right.
We've seen this.
Oh God, no.
It's all BS,
It always is.
Yeah. So, but I mean, and look, I mean, the thing that bothers me the most here is, and I've often said this, the thing that really bothers me about racism is I can no longer yell at a black guy in traffic who cut me off because it sounds racist. I just want to go, you're an idiot. And then all of a sudden it goes into something else. Right. Well, the Republicans, there's a lot of Democrats that I just loathe, I will say
like
this.
who? Name them.
I mean, a lot of them have been pushed out, going back into, the DNC with, Wasserman and what happened with the DNC and Anthony Weiner and all that. But I mean, when I go forward and I look at people like, the former Cuomo and, what the Democrats have done, it's always about their dick too. Can I just say that, it's like, I mean, Clinton is a piece of shit. Bill Clinton is it was responsible to achieve for the ascent of Donald Trump, without a doubt. If you want to go back,
I don't know about that.
The shadow that it cast on Hillary, and then of course Anthony Weiner with his laptop and all that shit. So it's the Democrats have a lot of problems. But
nowhere close to Trump.
Of course not. That's a totally different world. But again, that's why I can't spend any time on them because I'm so focused on saving the world from these clowns.
I don't know. I just feel like with Trump,
I try to do this. I know we didn't. I mean, I love the light stuff and good stuff too. I mean, so my What the Franklin podcast. I've been talking to.
Yay!
Like tomorrow, I got a podcast with a guy who studies the brain when people are in comas. And, here's my question I'm going to ask him. And the guy that set it up said, sure, it's a good question. He goes, like when you get guillotined and your head falls off, are you experiencing that?
Do you care?
And what happened? No. And what is it like? So say I'm in my deathbed and you pull the plug
Okay.
What are the next 5 minutes in my brain? What's going on in there? And then I did this. We might have talked about this last time we talked. I started studying some of when I started to watch the latest True Detective, right?
Oh, I'm loving that. I just watched the last episode
So
last
the
night.
psychosis that's happening up in
Yes.
it's not unusual where people have these apparitions and the whole town will have it. The whole town will see ghosts, right?
Or is it real? Or is it really
Well, here's a
happening
question
because
for you.
of the absence of people?
You spend a third of your life asleep, having all sorts of crazy crap going on in your head, right?
Right.
What if that continued in your waking time? What if that you couldn't differentiate that? Maybe that's what schizophrenia is like. But anyway, this goes all the way back to Aristotle and the whole idea of what consciousness is. And you know me, I love this stuff.
You love all that stuff.
So we got that coming up. And I also got a guy we're talking about, gambling and how bad it is. Did you know that close to 35% of suicides are related to gambling debts in the United States?
I'm not surprised that it has to do with money and sex, I would say, are both, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You have
And
money
then,
problems or you've slept around.
I'm doing a thing on the 9/11 conspiracy. So anyway, it's fun. I was going to have 3 different podcasts, and I'm just going to put them all under the umbrella of just What the Franklin. And so,
Oh, so you are keeping it. And so you were saying what, February 1st or 2nd?
I'm dropping a bunch of them. Just put your Franklin podcast and it'll all show up.
This is a good bridge into what I also wanted to talk to you about because it's happening this morning. Repealing Section 230. As someone that is a content creator, which is what you are, right? And you post on all the socials and on YouTube and things like that. You want it repealed?
No. And here's
really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, first of all, there is this.
I know, hold on. If people don't know what Section 230 is, like I mentioned earlier, it's platforms like this, Facebook. They're not held liable for anything that's posted on their platforms. They're not made responsible if they say things, if it leads to something. They're given kind of immunity to that whole thing.
Yeah. And I think that, when you're talking about these companies that are $1 trillion companies, they should have, there should be 2 sets of responsibility. One on the parents. Not every 13-year-old should have a phone, right? Or get them a phone that you can just call and maybe text on. That's it.
Or do what I do, and I just have tracking stuff on my kid's phone, so I'm notified if they're looking at something that they shouldn't be looking at.
Right. So I mean, that's the direction I think we should go ultimately. However, I also think that that they are a platform. And they take advantage of that. They take advantage of the bad news that's posted on there, the stuff that's not real, and they take advantage with advertising. So they have a responsibility,
right?
And they, and believe me, there's a way to fix this. There's a way to fix it. I mean, do I want every Twitter post that I put up there,
exactly.
to run, but I'm willing to take some responsibility. In other words, maybe the responsibility isn't financial, but maybe I get kicked off for a year if I post something.
Yeah, a harsher penalty for it.
Yeah, right. So there's ways to do this, but to watch Lindsey Graham berate,
I know,
Mark Zuckerberg, F you.
Hold on. I want to play a little bit because you mentioned it. Let me play a little bit of it. I think I have it. I think because
I forgot. By the way, I forgot today was Wednesday.
I know.
And I saw your note, and I went,
I know. I was like, "Are you coming?" Yeah.
Well, I called this. Yeah. Anyway,
it's okay to forget about me. It's okay. Here.
Not you. The day. Yeah. It's even bigger than you.
Social media companies, as they are currently designed and operate, are dangerous products. They're destroying lives, threatening democracy itself. These companies must be reined in, or the worst is yet to come. Gavin Guffey is a Republican representative from South Carolina in the Rock Hill area. To all the victims who came and showed us photos of your loved ones, don't quit. It's working.
Not when it comes to guns, though, but I digress.
Yeah, well, take out companies. Every time it says companies,
people won't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Trump must be reined in.
I mean, I love how this
the damage to your family's been done.
Right. He is a grandstander.
Hopefully, we can take your pain and turn it into something positive, so nobody else has to hold up a sign. Gavin's son got online with Instagram, and was tricked by a group in Nigeria that put up a young lady posing to be his girlfriend. And as things go at that stage in life, he gave her some photos, compromising sexual photos. And it turned out that she was part of a extortion group in Nigeria. They threatened the young man that if you don't give us money, we're going to expose these photos. He gave them money, but it wasn't enough. They kept threatening and he killed himself. They threatened Mr. Guffey and a son. These are bastards by any known definition. Mr. Zuckerberg, you and the companies before us, I know you don't mean it to be so, but you have blood on your hands.
I would say fuck you right now.
You have a product. You have a product that's killing people.
Let's
When we had
use in
cigarettes
this way.
killing people.
Listen
We
to
did
this.
some
Yeah.
about it, maybe not enough.
No.
You're going to talk about guns. We
Yep.
have the ATF. Nothing here. There's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. You can't be sued. Now, Senator Blumenthal and Blackburn, who've been like the dynamic duo here, have found emails from your company where they warned you about this stuff, and you decided not to hire 45 people that could do a better job of policing this. So the bottom line is you can't be sued. You should be. And these emails would be great for punitive damages.
All right. So, and this is what's going on today. I mean,
Well, the gun analogy is perfect. The gun analogy is perfect. They don't want to
Absolutely.
do anything to stop the 350 million plus guns that circulate in this country here. No registration, no background checks. And yet they're blaming these companies who share some responsibility without a doubt, but they're blaming these companies and forgetting at all about, the responsibility of people, which they talk about with guns all the time,
Right.
mental health issues,
Exactly.
being government is not easy, and there should be responsible, smart people there. Unfortunately, no one, all the good people in the Republican Party that I disagreed with vehemently on policy and positions are gone. They've pushed them out. The Kinsingers, the Cheneys, the Romneys, they're all going,
Yeah.
it replaced by the Cruzes and the Hawleys.
And it pisses me off though, because I also think of like Tim Ryan, right? I mean, it's like, oh, now you're gonna go on your pedestal and start screaming and railing against these wackadoo GOP. How about staying in the fight? And being
JD
able to
Vance called
influence
Trump a
change?
Hitler.
It's
Remember?
it's
JD
so
Vance did,
stupid.
the guy that beat Tim Ryan. I mean, so
Yeah.
there's a story on Mediaite today about, that Trump is leading in the 7 swing states. I don't
know.
believe
I
it.
hate
I
that.
don't believe, it's not accurate. But I mean, if you look at the questioning and the poll, there's a whole nother story about these polls and how, they're.
Well, I think, you know what? Fine. If you're going to come out with these headlines, that's just going to make the rest of us sane people come out in droves, which is exactly what happened in 2020. Everyone's, oh, the polls. Yeah. You know what?
2022, really. 2022, you really saw it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just no, but I'm talking about the fact that Trump thought he was going to win and he didn't,
Right.
because he's like, oh, look at my rallies, as if that's freaking means anything. Look at how many people love me. Okay, but look at how many people hate you. Like, how about we flip it around? Look at how many people absolutely despise everything you stand for. So,
Well,
I'm hoping they're wrong. I can't imagine if you
everything is. I mean, I hate to be over dramatized stuff, but I will. Do we have some dark music?
dun dun dun.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously, if Trump should be elected, and he will never win the popular vote. He'll probably lose it. I mean, this. I mean, a Republican president hasn't won the popular vote but once in the last 36 years, and that's unbelievable, right? It just goes to show you that when there's a significant number of Americans that don't believe in their attack on government, the way they attack government, yet at the very same time are part of the apparatus. I mean, Citizens United, go down the line. All the things that are wrong about government, they endorse. And I mean, I would love to have a conversation with them, but you can't, because every time you make a point, they'll say fake news or some.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I don't even know how you have a conversation with people. Always say like, "Why are you so angry, Chip?" And I go, "It's because I feel like I'm trying to explain calculus to a 4-year-old."
Exactly. And that it is frustrating because you can't win any argument with a Trumper. They're just it doesn't matter. I don't believe that. And if people don't want to believe what's right in front of their face, you can't. I could show them water.
We're living in the same
on them,
country, so we got to find a way to do it. I mean,
Trump needs to go away. He needs, that spell needs to be broken. And I just don't. I thought DeSantis was going to be able to take the reign, which I found to be dangerous. But DeSantis is so odd as a human being that wasn't going to happen.
I was taking a flight next to a woman, and just a short flight up to San Francisco, And she said, what did you major in college? And I said, applied math. And she said, she started going off on Common Core math. And I said, I go, do you even know what it is? How old are your kids? My
People
kids
don't even
are
know what it is.
Yeah,
They don't
she had
even know
no
what
idea
it
what it
is.
was, but she'd heard Sean Hannity or somebody say something about it,
Exactly.
and so I mean, when that happens, and I was very nice to her until
Shocking.
I was on a Alaska Air flight and I was working on that door to see if I could get it to come out so she could go flying.
Oh, you were responsible for the door plug. I
Yeah,
see how it is.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we let's go back to the whole the EV thing and climate change, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have opportunities with electric cars, with renewable sources of energy, but we have Exxon with billions of dollars of lobby money that forces all renewable energy options to be pushed aside, and we got Trump saying "drill, baby, drill."
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Exactly.
It doesn't help our country. It helps the
No.
companies. And just so people understand, we have not nationalized oil. So when they drill in the United States, they can sell it to the highest bidder, which will be China or Europe. It won't be here. So it doesn't help us. It doesn't lower our prices. Globally, it might push it down a penny or two, but it's not going to be like you think, they're drilling it next door. So, so all of these things that play out, and you go look at what PG&E and the problems they had, and you go watch Aaron Brockovich again, because that's still happening today.
Yeah, exactly. I just watched that movie the other day. Julia Roberts.
Or what's happening in Alaska, as you're seeing in this True Detective.
Yeah.
That's all true about the water and these people being poisoned in these areas up there where they're drilling for gold or silver or whatever, So.
And they don't develop the whole time I'm watching that show, True Detective. And if you guys want to watch it, it's on HBO Max.
It's dark. It's pretty dark.
It's really, I mean,
really
how
dark.
long are they going to leave those guys on the ice right there? Like that's.
I know, right? No.
And everyone have a blanket. But anyways, but I just.
By the way, that's my orgasm face.
We don't need to.
Sorry.
Thanks,
You
man.
didn't- yeah, I'm
seriously, I'm going to screenshot
Cheers,
that.
everyone,
There
yeah.
you go. But no, all I keep thinking about, and this is the problem even in the state of California,
Are
businesses.
we on the air? Is this on? Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, this is on.
Okay.
They keep bring other business to Alaska, for instance, that's not harming the environment, but they don't. They don't want it. They're like, half the town works at the mine, so the mine has to stay. Bring another business, and that's what needs to be done. Bring businesses to other parts of California that have lower costs of housing. Draw people to those areas. Go to other parts of the country, but they don't. And then we still see the problems that we have. And I don't know.
Housing is insane. You and I both know it. I mean,
It's
where
crazy.
I live, I bought a home here in the recession, right? The financial crisis, and it's tripled in value, which is great, except that I'm not selling it. I'm going to give it to my kids, which will be good for them. But my son got married back in April, and he wants to
buy a house.
Yeah, and
they
can't buy a house for he's renting a house. He's got a great deal on a rental, but if they want to have a baby, I'm like,
oh, it's a small rental.
And then he goes something. I go, do you ever think about moving out of the state? And he goes, no, because here I have free health care. And I went like,
not for long. He better hurry up.
I'm sorry. No, I meant childcare. He was talking about
childcare. I was like, how old is he?
No.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Oh, anybody wants to see Chip Franklin as a grandpa? Would you go by Grandpa, Pop? What would you go by?
King.
Oh God,
King.
stop.
King Charles. That's my name. King Charles.
You're going to be sent to the hospital with some sort of ailment if you're King Charles.
Or they would think I'm insane, right? Oh, he thinks he's King Charles. Okay,
it's okay, Grandpa. It's okay. We'll call you King. It's okay.
But you know what? You're only about
don't
7 or 8 years away.
No, I am in the throes of teenagehood. So
right. So Marley could get married at 20, have a kid at 21. It'd be Grandma Nikki.
No.
What would you be? Grandma?
Grandma, probably Grandma. I like Grandma. I like my mom's grandma. My mother-in-law's Mimi, and I like both actually, Mimi and Grandma. So I like both of those, but I'd probably just be Grandma.
I was we were all online, and Brian and Heather and Karen and
all
you,
texting.
all of us, the old crowd, and how much I missed that. And it was funny. I was going back. I had ratings that we'd gotten back when we were doing
our show.
When we had comedians and musicians on, our numbers were good.
Yeah, they didn't.
We had
they wanted to kill us off. I mean,
we had like a 3.2 share on a couple of these, and they're struck right now. That same radio station we used to be on. Yeah, they get like a tenth of a share of one share.
But I don't think they care. I mean, it's just something to hold that channel. I feel like I don't think they're using it to make money. It'd be great if it took off, but I mean,
what are they finding a way to
I have
move.
no idea. I mean, maybe because people want to pay them to be on that channel. I don't know. Don't ask me because I
Yeah.
feel like good radio could have happened and they decided to shut it down. So
I don't miss it.
whatever.
I don't miss doing it like I thought I would.
do.
I miss the guys. I miss everybody.
Yeah,
You know.
that's what
You know.
I miss doing it. I miss, obviously a lot of our KGO listeners followed us onto YouTube, and I love you guys so much. But it's a completely different kind of situation and
format, yeah.
relationship. I enjoy it. I like doing this.
Somebody asked me once if you and I ever got into a fight, and I was trying to remember if we ever got into a fight.
Like a real fight or just arguing on the air?
I mean, Heather and I did, and I never did.
You
with
and I have
Karen.
never gotten in a fight. We have
know.
never gotten,
No,
not like
I
a fight
think
fight. I mean, I
No,
tell you that
no.
you're full of crap all the time, but that's not,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
count.
yeah. But I was just trying to think. I was trying to think of that, like in, and I
No,
couldn't. You know, I mean,
no, we have never gotten in a fight. I would remember because I would have won.
there were a
So-
few people there that I wasn't crazy about.
Well, there's a few
I-
people I wasn't crazy about too.
Yeah.
They can kiss
But
my
anyway,
ass.
yeah. So that whole, I mean, radio's dead. I mean, they're not even making. I was in a Tesla the other day, and they, speaking of a friend of mine,
Well, they can't because of the electricity.
yeah, the AM radios, but
Yeah.
also, GM, Ford, GMC, I mean, not GMC, BMW. Nobody's
BMW,
putting AM
yeah.
radios in their cars anymore,
Yeah.
and Republicans want to force them to do it because, they said,
Of
otherwise, how are they
emergencies
going to be
and
able to
stuff like
find our
that, yeah.
crazy talk shows? But I mean, of course, somebody's going to have to figure out how to take their phone and,
Well,
run it
no,
through.
I mean, I fill in often on KCBS, and they really it's FM they promote. I mean, we are on
Yeah.
AM too, but that's what KGO never wanted to do is move us to FM, and because they didn't want to do that, you saw the writing on the wall. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're not willing to make that basic step, and you see what's happening with all these cars, then obviously, and you're absolutely right, Chris. The 1996 Communication Act, that was the year I graduated high school and started college. And I remember learning all about this. And I remember how I still to this day, I know where I was sitting. I know the classroom I was in when they were talking about this and how fundamental it was going to be. And yeah. And we've had the repercussions ever since. So
The Communications Act. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
by your favorite guy, Bill Clinton.
Yeah. I mean, I met Clinton and I loved Hillary. I thought Hillary was a really sweet person. I got to go, that story. I went to the White House and I got to talk to her, and she was like really interested, and I did feel bad that, during the Clinton years, I was on the radio in DC, just trashing him bad. And Lanny Davis, his former attorney, told me he used to listen to talk radio at night. I'm like, oh God.
That was you, my friend. That was you.
Yeah. I did. I met Monica Lewinsky last year too, and I was really intrigued in just how pleasant she was and how knowledgeable she is about. politics and-
She got the short end of the stick there in both ways, and it sucks.
Is that a Freudian reference? How short was his dick?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that's politics, and Monica Lewinsky, she's still making the hats, right? She's still
She does all right. I mean,
yeah, she's got her own thing going. It sucks
Yeah.
that that's always going to be on her. You say Monica Lewinsky, you're going to think Bill Clinton instantly. That's just unfortunately the name of the game,
I tried to get Carville on, James Carville on, and the guy said, "What do you want to talk about?" And I said, "Well, a lot. I'd like to go back, and I would really like to ask him, what he planned on doing to Monica Lewinsky's reputation if they hadn't have found that dress." And there's a pause, and he got real pause, and he goes, "You're kidding, right?" I knew I wasn't going to get him on.
Exactly. Well, it's always worth a shot. I love having you on. So every Wednesday, can you put it in your phone? Like I have you in my phone.
I didn't know what day it was.
On repeat. I didn't either. I paid my rent today. I thought today was the first. So I knew it was Wednesday though. I just thought it was the first. And I was like, shoot, I paid my rent a whole day early. Oh
well. I have a, I called this guy who I know who's in law school, and I had to talk to him about something. He goes, "I'm in class." I said, "I thought you had class on Mondays and Wednesdays." He goes, "Yeah, I do." And I went, "Oh shoot, I thought it was Tuesday."
I gotta go. My friend is waiting for me.
I talk to these people for these podcasts that I do. And one of the guys, Adam Jones, who was a baseball player, now lives in Barcelona, and his brother-in-law, who is his attorney, is over there now. And the hours, like it's like, I don't know, I'm going to say 14 hours ahead of us now, or some crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what. And so, Yeah, I mean, there's that whole thing too about, where you are on the planet and when you call somebody, and it's just that's, anyway. All right. Well, again, I will make sure next Wednesday.
Put it
I
in
like
your
Wednesday,
phone
9
on
o'clock.
repeat every week. Your phone does that for you, old man. It's totally possible.
Nah.
All right. And so chipfranklin.com is where all of your podcasts are going to be. Is there a day?
Just go to YouTube and put, it's going to be there, or just Google Chip Franklin podcast. And
Is there a specific day you're going to be dropping these?
That's a good question.
So the answer is no right now.
Yeah, I haven't
changed.
changed. I'm the same. I'm pretty much the same. Is this mic on? That kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we adore you. We will talk again next week. Thank you.
We're back. See you,
All right.
kiddo. Bye.
Bye. I cut you off. Sorry. All right. Say bye to Chip. There you
Bye,
go.
Chip.
I love having him on. So yeah, every Wednesday it's going to be Chip Franklin is going to be joining us to talk about all kinds of nonsense. And if there's something you want to ask Chip, of course you can email me the Nikki Medoro Show at gmail.com. Okay, so let's do some headlines with Kim, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about what these asshats in Oklahoma did to these poor teachers. And my question to you is, obviously they have their own reasons. Mistakes happen. But how long should you have from the moment you make a mistake to get it back? I mean, have you ever made a mistake? I was just talking, Kim. I accidentally paid my rent today because I thought today was the 1st. I knew it was Wednesday, but I thought it was the 1st. Right. And I send it, and then I'm like looking at my phone. I'm like, gosh darn it. Not that I'm sure my landlord doesn't mind at all. It doesn't
matter, right?
But I was like, geez, Louise, you know what I mean? So, I mean, mistakes can happen when you send money, but how much of a leeway should these people have given the fact that some people spent the money? And has that ever happened to you? Have you ever had a bank error happen? Have you ever had your boss say, oh, payroll paid you too much, you have to pay that money back? And how'd that go? Do you think it's fair? You can let us know in the comments. But first, some headlines.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Well, you mentioned it and played some of the clips from the hearing earlier, but yeah, leaders from the top social media companies are defending their efforts to protect minors on their platforms. As a matter of fact, Mark Zuckerberg, featured here, apologized to families over the social media harms in this hearing in front of the Senate. While testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee today, Meta's CEO, Zuckerberg, saying new features have been rolled out to block some content from reaching teens on Facebook and Instagram. Lawmakers accused tech leaders of failing to protect children from abuse on their platforms, with South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham telling Zuckerberg he has blood on his hands.
Yeah, and as I was saying with Chip, I do feel like it's a double-edged sword, right? If you take away Section 230, if you completely repeal it, I think that might be too far. But I also do think we didn't fully understand the reach of social media when all of us hopped on it so many years ago. You know what I mean? And so there has to be a way for us to kind of try to go back and put more monitors on it. The problem is nothing is foolproof. So people are going to be like, you're censoring me. Oh, why is this okay, but that's not okay? Those sorts of things. But again, do you have a fundamental right to social media? And how far does the First Amendment go with some of these things? So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Interest rates. The Federal Open Market Committee is preparing to make its first announcement on interest rates of the year. The Fed wrapping up its meeting today, with most analysts predicting no rate change this time around. In New York, the NYPD is looking for more suspects after a group of people believed to be migrants attacked 2 New York City police officers in Times Square. Ooh. So far, at least 5 people have been arrested for Saturday's incident, which was caught on camera right outside of a migrant shelter. There's growing outrage because those suspects have reportedly been released without bail. This is a interesting and troublesome truck. The ADHD medication has been recalled because bottles could contain a different drug that actually has the opposite effect. Right? The recall impacts only one lot of 30 milligram dextroamphetamine sulfate tablets sold under the brand name Zenzetti. Azurity Pharmaceuticals said the product was being voluntarily recalled after a pharmacist in Nebraska reported opening a bottle labeled as Zenzetti 30 milligram tablets and found instead an antihistamine drug which has the opposite effect. So
Obviously.
now that's being recalled. Yeah.
Oh my God. And those medications, you have anything like that going on, people aren't going to trust the medicine that they take. But ADHD drugs being swapped with an antihistamine, I can only imagine the consequence of that.
I'm telling you. Northern California County is making history. And I don't know.
What is this?
She's supposed to be lonely, although she has somebody with her. So I don't know if this is really a great picture of loneliness.
This doesn't look like loneliness. This is like something just happened that was pretty cold.
I had it tabbed under lonely in my files of pictures, but okay.
He's lonely. He's like, where are you going?
Where are you going? Don't leave me. Leaders in San Mateo County become the first in the nation to declare loneliness a public health emergency.
Aww.
San Mateo County officials say almost half of their residents are suffering since the pandemic, and they want the state to take action as well. A letter sent to Governor Gavin Newsom urges him to create a Minister of Loneliness position. If approved, that person would also enact policies to improve mental health in general. Minister of Loneliness.
And there's been studies that say men are particularly lonely. Loneliness, it's one of those things where I think, and I have friends that always post these memes where it's like, I don't want to go, but I want you to still invite me. Does that make sense? Like, I want to stay home. I don't want to go out. I'm fine, being with my cat or just being by myself. But I still want to know that there's people out there that want to see me. The problem is the more you say no and you don't put yourself out there.
That's true.
The fewer times you're going to be asked because they're going to say no. So it's hard, but yeah, that's really sad.
That's a better picture.
That guy's lonely. There you go.
He's thinking about things sad on a bench by the sea. Yeah. It's rough. It's a rough times.
It's a rough time, yeah.
I don't mean to make light of it. The loneliness is a real problem. So, yeah. One of the biggest hospitals in the state is helping more families in need. Kaiser Permanente is taking applications for its new healthcare program, but those interested have to hurry. The deadline is actually today. This applies to people with low income who are not eligible for coverage through their work or from Medi-Cal or Medicare. If they qualify, most services won't require a monthly premium, a copay, or out-of-pocket costs. Speaking of Kaiser, this is a Kaiser in Oakland, and we hadn't talked about this, I don't think. They're asking their employees to be very careful and not go out to lunch. Stay in the facility, basically, because of crime.
Because of crime. If my job told me, eat lunch here, don't go outside, I wouldn't want to go to work either. You know what I mean? I'd be like, wait a minute, why can't you make it safe enough? Now, I will also kind of add this caveat that what is the perimeter of said safety? You know what I mean? Like if I go to KCBS early in the morning, I have to walk a couple blocks. And it's not as long as, the parking lot at AGO. It's not that far of a walk, but it's still a walk. And it's at 4:00 in the friggin' morning. You know what I mean? So
in the dark.
In the dark. And I'll tell you, there was the last time I actually worked there. I'm about to cross the street at Market. On the other side is a dude having some sort of crazy conversation with somebody that's not there. And
you are in the middle of the night and this guy is hanging out. Yeah.
And so they gave advice to us. And I do this anyway, where if you're walking by yourself, like you have to give, and it sounds kind of silly as a defense mechanism, but you have to give off this air or stand and walk with purpose. And like, you're not going to take any shit basically. And so I was walking at the time with my umbrella because it was going to rain later that day. And I'm walking with this, like, if you freaking stand 2 feet in front of me, I'm going to whack you in the head with this. Like I'm walking with literal purpose. Of course I'm 5'1" and I have a backpack on. So I probably look like a school kid that somebody could tackle, but I try my best.
Yeah. Pretty scary. But imagine working here and being told, don't go outside. We can't guarantee your safety. We really think that you should eat lunch indoors because the minute you step outside, all bets are off.
Yeah,
that inspires confidence.
That says the area where Kaiser is used to be really safe. It's really too bad there have been so many changes. Yeah, exactly.
So here's a test that was recently done. Yeah. University of Nebraska engineers are looking at road safety and electric vehicles, and they're out with a new report. They wanted to see how guardrails, the things found along hundreds of thousands of miles of roadway across America,
Of course.
would hold up when it comes to electric vehicles, because they often weigh thousands of pounds more than the average gas-powered car. They're much heavier.
Right.
Well, they weren't surprised when they tested this Rivian truck. It was about 4 tons.
Okay.
And it broke through the metal guardrail like nothing, hardly slowed down at all until it hit the concrete barrier on the other side. That's what you see there.
Okay.
The system was not made to handle vehicles greater than 5,000 pounds. And so the guardrails that are across much of the roadways and the median barriers across the roadways in America aren't going to do much good if an electric vehicle hits it and plows into oncoming traffic. In addition, the National Highway Traffic Transportation Commission, I got that wrong, they said they're also worried about, and we'll have to do studies on, an electric vehicle accident versus a regular sedan. So if it's that much heavier, then the regular sedan would sustain so much more damage, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So these cars are a lot heavier, and that poses a lot of problems. Music from many of the biggest artists will no longer be available to use on TikTok. I know you're really upset about
Really? I was kind of following this a little bit right before the show, but I didn't get too into it, so I didn't know the result.
So Universal Music Group, which owns labels that represents Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Rihanna, among many others, said in a statement that it is not renewing its licensing agreement with TikTok. And that agreement expires today. And once it expires, the music is gone from that app. You can't use it there. So done.
That's interesting. So for those of you that maybe don't use, music to do posts or whatever. So when let's say I go on TikTok and I want to post a video and I want to use music, you could search for commercial music to use and it kind of gives them the royalties. So you kind of do it that way. So I would assume that when I would look for commercial music, it's going to be bare bones pretty soon of a song that people actually recognize. So that's interesting. Okay.
Lastly, 2 friends in Modesto bought a storage unit for $30.
I heard about this. Yeah, buddy.
Guess what they found inside?
MC Hammer just sitting there being like,
Too legit to quit. Well, it looks like it might have been full of belongings of recording artist MC Hammer.
So
Parachute pants and fur coats were found in the storage unit. The 2 friends also found more than 30 master tapes believed to be unreleased music from MC Hammer. Some of these labels even say Snoop, as in Snoop Dogg. They're now offering thousands of dollars for some of these items. So... yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw a video or a news report on it, and it had like the masters, the master recordings.
Right.
So you'd have to be able to play it because it looked really big. I don't think it would play on something like a normal record player or whatever. So you have to have something that would specifically play it. Now, are you going to play it before you sell it? Or are you going to say, hey, I took a gamble on this $30 storage unit? You ever watch that show, Storage Wars? Have you ever seen that show?
I've not seen it. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
My husband used to watch it all the time. It's actually pretty interesting. So the rules are, and I've been tempted, but knowing my hoarder husband, I'm not even opening up that can of worms. But so at least according to the show, I don't know how realistic it is. They cut the lock, and people can go, but you can only look from the outside. And I saw a picture of this storage unit that these guys bought. It's pretty empty. So you would have to like kind of spy something that you're like, I think those look like parachute pants or something like that. But yeah, so you can only look and kind of gauge, is there a blanket covering it? So it might be something special or worth something, those sorts of things. And then they do kind of an auction, and whoever has the most money and willing to put up on the gamble for the storage unit gets it. And some people make a pretty penny and some people just dump a bunch of junk. So it's a gamble.
Well, you can bring parachute pants back now that you have a whole bunch of them to wear.
No, I mean, that's just, although we didn't bat an eye at it when he did it. Do not bring back. Many things can come back. Parachute pants.
We all need things to wear to 80s parties, right? So
I would rather wear hypercolor and tease my hair and wear all those
MC Hammer 80s or 90s?
90s.
Oh, 90s.
I would say 90s. I would say MC Hammer was more 90s. It still doesn't matter. I mean, even if it's 90s, there's so many other things I would bring back from the 90s than parachute pants. Like that is not, that's a very niche segment of clothing style from the 90s that I do not think needs to come back. No, thank you.
It looks good on him, and he, the way he danced and made him
Well,
move, and
the
I don't know.
dude wasn't wearing it like seriously. It's a costume. Then people made it serious. It's like, wait a minute. People that perform wear costumes. I'm not going to wear that out on the friggin' street. You look like a moron. Like you're smuggling something.
Too legit to quit.
Can't touch this.
This report is sponsored by you. Thank you for all the ways you support the show.
Yes.
Find us at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com, and that's where the Patreon and PayPal links are. You'll see a lot more there as well. thenikkimedoroshow.com. Again, thank you for all the ways you support us and allow us to keep on rolling. I'm Kim McAllister on The Nikki Medoro Show.
And big thanks to Spencer with the $5 donation. Joe Fong came in with $10 already. Pamela also came in with $10.
Yay.
Love hearing Chip. Thanks. We do too. And Doug came in with a $5 super sticker as well. So the super chat is live, and just look for the $sign whether you're watching live or in replay, and we appreciate all of the help. So thank you guys so very much. Okay, what would you do if you received a windfall of money, whatever amount? I'm not saying you won the lottery and then the California lottery calls you back and says, we read your numbers wrong. Okay, I'm talking about you were anticipating getting money, you got the money, and then all of a sudden it's taken back. So here's the story. Apparently, Oklahoma, this is the Oklahoma State Department of Education, had been giving bonuses to hard to fill teaching positions in Oklahoma. So there's this one woman, Christina Stadelman. She was a special ed teacher in Oklahoma. She was given she was told she qualified for a $50,000 bonus to take this position as a special ed teacher. She gets the money, and then months later, she receives a letter from the Oklahoma State Department of Education saying that the money was received in error, was given in error, and she must repay it by the end of February.
No.
The errant payments and the repayment demands from the Oklahoma Education Agency are being criticized by both sides, by both parties. The average, now here's the thing. Okay, so she was given a $50,000 bonus. You want to know what the average teacher pay in Oklahoma is? About $55,000. Okay, so basically she got a year's pay, almost a year's pay as a bonus. Oklahoma ranks 38th in the country when it comes to teacher pay. The bonuses were awarded under that program, and like I said, intended to recruit new teachers for difficult jobs in early elementary and special education. Now, apparently, according to Oklahoma Watch, they reported at least 9 teachers were asked to return the bonuses that range from $15,000 to $50,000. $185,000 went to teachers who did not qualify for the program at all, and $105,000 was overpayment to teachers who qualified for a lesser amount. Now, I understand that, obviously Oklahoma has its own budget issues.
Yeah.
You can't give people mistakes. Mistakes happen. I'm not saying that. What would you do? What would you do if you received this amount of money and then we're asked to pay it back, and not just pay it back like incrementally?
No.
We want the money back in a month.
And they had told me that if I take this job, I'll get $50,000.
Yeah, that you qualify for the bonus if you take this hard to fill position. I would fight it too.
I would fight it.
I mean,
what do they do if all these teachers that are in these hard to find positions, hard to fill positions, up and quit and say, forget it?
Exactly.
No.
One woman said her bonus came after taxes. The Stadelman teacher, she said it came to about $30,000 after taxes.
Mm-hmm.
She said obviously she got really anxious about it. She said she was in the letter she received said that she was ineligible because she had previously been employed as a full-time special ed teacher in another district, even though she said she had indicated that on her application. So it seems like there are mistakes on top of mistakes on top of mistakes. Here's my thing.
And the school district should eat it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You made the mistake. Go look in your administrative fees. Go cut whatever, thing you need to do there. But you are telling these teachers that you don't value them. That not only do you not value them, when they stepped up, heeding your call, you're like, okay, great. Here's the money you spent. And we're talking months months after they had been given this money. One woman said she had to fix up her car or purchased a new car. I mean, these are things that people do when they have an influx of money. You give me, let's just say after taxes, $30,000 spent. I mean, because of who I am, a lot of it probably would still be in my savings. But I would have spent some of it. Yeah. And it's obviously not money that I had before that I want to pay back. Mm-hmm. Hold on, I like Spencer. Move it somewhere else and try to sue me. Like, go ahead.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Take me to court. You know what I mean?
Back. Yeah. No, I think that's awful.
Okay, so let's take it to the other extreme though, because did you see this headline? And I just crack up about it. A Delaware state court judge has thrown out the 2018 pay package that helped make Tesla CEO Elon Musk one of the richest people in the world. Okay, so it was a $303 million split adjusted stock option Musk received as part of a package. It's worth $51 billion.
That's a big paycheck.
The judge ruled yesterday that Musk and Tesla bore the burden of proving that the compensation plan was fair, and they failed to meet the burden. So they want him to what? Pay it back? Like, obviously, there's a difference between having stock and having cash in the bank. Okay. So, which really pisses me off a little bit. I think Dave Chappelle does a joke about this. It's like only the uber rich can claim that stock is their wealth, but then still not be taxed on said wealth until it's cash. Does that make sense to you? Mm-hmm. Like, they get all of these breaks and all of these deals because of the wealth that they also in the same breath say isn't actually their wealth yet because they haven't sold the stock yet. It's total bullshit. Yeah, but whatever. Yeah, they want to take back. Hold on, here it is. As of Tesla, they want to take back $56 billion bonus. Yeah, I feel like when we're talking about Elon Musk, I'm fine with them trying to take it back. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? Go ahead. It really is a bit much that he is. This kind of wealth is disgusting in my. I know that you can make as much money as you want to, but $51 billion in stock, but wealth is just crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. Now, they may appeal this decision to the Delaware Supreme Court. Investors and analysts suggest it'd be a good idea for Tesla to offer Musk a new pay package. And of course, he has SpaceX that's privately owned. He did purchase Twitter X in 2023 when he rebranded it. I don't think Elon Musk is going to be hard up for money, but it's like two ends of the spectrum. You know what I mean? It's like he can be told to pay back $50 billion. Mm-hmm. And he's probably not even that worried about it. Because again, the whole stock thing and these poor teachers.
He wasn't happy.
Teachers. Well, of course he's not happy about it. He
came out yesterday and said never incorporate your company in Delaware.
Well, of course not. Of course he's going to say that. Now, I mean, the judge found that it was way too much. You scratch my back, I scratch yours type of thing, you know? Yeah. And the people that were doing the compensation package and the committee members were like already behind Musk. So it's one of those things where, was it fair to begin with? Phineas, taking money from Musk is like getting a refund from Trump or Trump paying his bills. Yeah, I'm not worried about Musk. He'll figure it out. He has way too much money. I'm sure it's just an ego hit more than anything else. But these poor teachers in Oklahoma who are probably desperate for this money.
They don't have it to give.
I feel for them. I really, really do. And it's really messed up. All right. Well, from Elon Musk to Tesla to EVs. I had asked this earlier with Chip. How many of you are going to get a fully electric vehicle? I'm not saying it's a Tesla. Now, Chip said he was going to. He was going to buy an electric vehicle. I was fully on board, Kim, like a few years ago with the whole EV thing. But after seeing, the cold weather mishaps, the infrastructure that still needs to be there, what they're doing with net metering. And again, if you guys didn't hear it before, tomorrow morning, in the second part of the show, after Jefferson Graham at 10 o'clock, we will be using the rest of the show to speak with Loretta Lynch, former CPUC president. If you haven't heard, they seem to be going back on approving that bill that would have based your PG&E bill on your income. Loretta's been against it. They're trying to sell it as if it helps these low-income people, but Loretta's not buying that as far as she could throw all those members. So Loretta Lynch will be joining us tomorrow. But again, net metering, reducing what I get on solar not being obviously as economical to put on your home. The fact that solar isn't, easy for people that live in apartments or multi-unit housing. All of these things give me a lot of pause on whether I'm not just going to buy another Prius before they stop making. Now, again, I need to hold on. Google this, Kim. The deadline that Newsom had set for not building fully gas combustible, that doesn't impact them creating hybrids, though, right? I mean, Toyota, which is my Prius, can still make new hybrids, right? Even if this, which it's going to happen, even if this whole timeline of getting a car manufacturer is making new fully gas cars, right? Hybrids aren't, I don't think.
2035.
Right. I don't think that they're underneath that umbrella of you can't make anything that has a part gas engine, a hybrid engine. I feel like hybrids are and I don't mean to be doing a commercial for hybrids right now, but it's the best compromise in my opinion. Make hybrids better. Make the technology of charging the battery, which is how the Prius works, right? So when you brake, you can see it. They actually have it on your dashboard. You can see the energy being put back into the battery. And so then it uses the battery. And then in certain situations, depending on how fast you're going, it kicks into the gas. Okay. I just feel like if you can make that better, where you stretch my gas even farther, done. I would love it to throw some solar panels on the car to help with the battery. I don't know, but you need to have the option. Yes, Chris, of having gas and electric. Jim says the Toyota RAV4 Prime Hybrid, great reviews. Looks like a good dog walking. Oh, mobile. I see. It's a good dog walking mobile because Jim walks dogs. Although I don't want it destroyed by my dogs as soon as I buy it. Get those. Have you seen those commercials? Like it's all over my phone. The WeatherTech. The guy's like trading in his car, and he says WeatherTech on everything. Get the WeatherTech on your seats. I don't know if the dogs would tear that up, but Vinny says, I've had hybrids, except for a Prius. The larger hybrids don't get decent MPG. Yeah, I have the only hybrid that I've ever had is a Prius. It's a 4-door. So, it fits the kids. It has a decent trunk. It has a full trunk. I don't know what else you would need. I mean, if we were going to go camping, we take the truck, but.
According to Consumer Reports.
Yes.
All new vehicles sold must be electric vehicles or plug-in hybrids by 2035.
Plug-in hybrids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a plug-in hybrid, again, as I've never had a plug-in hybrid, that means it's zero gas, correct? It's zero gas?
I'm looking. I don't know.
Anybody have a plug? So. I have a, well, I mean, do plug-in hybrids use gas? Because I mean, what's the hybrid part? So they use both gas and electric sources, but I would have to use my own electricity to I guess charge said battery.
Which means your PG&E bill is going way up.
Right. I just feel like, but they still have the gas option. So at least it has a gas option a little
What
bit.
is a plug-in hybrid and how does it work? According to Car and Driver, it is a regular hybrid and it's also an electric car with no more than 60 miles of range. So it can confuse a lot of car shoppers. Compared with gas cars, conventional hybrids, or battery electric cars, a plug-in hybrid may be the hardest to understand. It can run like a regular hybrid, like a Prius, but there's another aspect. It's also an electric car that plugs in to recharge a battery pack that lets it drive on electric power some of the time, but usually for only 20 to 60 miles.
So what's the freaking point?
Yeah, I don't know.
See, my thing is I like my traditional hybrid. I don't need to plug it in, so I don't need to impact my PG&E bill, which I don't want to impact at all, right? And then my gas kicks in when it needs to, and then when I'm braking and all those sorts of things, that's what charges the battery.
Well, they say that idea is that drivers who can plug in at home overnight get 20 to 50 miles of EV range, which is enough to cover daily commutes and shopping trips.
It won't get me to San Francisco and back.
No, it won't. The average driver covers 37 miles a day, but for unexpected needs, longer trips, or if they can't plug in somewhere, they will still have a fuel-efficient hybrid. For owners that do the short trips, the engine may not switch on for weeks at a time, with gas purchases only coming every month or so if they're plugged in regularly. So,
what is the range? Google this question. What is the range of a plug-in hybrid when it's only using the gas? Like, is it, like you can have gas powered cars that get better MPG miles per gallon than other gas powered cars. Is the miles of a plug-in hybrid that's only using gas good? Because if it's still like 40 miles per gallon of straight gas, okay, that's not too bad. But if it's, 25, 30, you can get fully combustible cars that are exactly the same thing. And that's not really reducing your use of fossil fuels or using gas and oil and all that kind of crap. So, and then Eric says, I will not be plugging it in. Where would I plug it in? Some of us live in apartments and park on the street. Right. Liz says, no, it uses gas, only about 21 miles on electric only right now. Ren says our Volt, which is a plug-in hybrid, I'm assuming, runs on either straight electric or gas. That's crazy. Like that unless it gets really far on gas, I would rather have my hybrid gets at least 45 miles per gallon. And sometimes I can get it up to like 55, but I drive a lot on the freeway. And so it gets better in the city. If I don't have to go to San Francisco, like I haven't gone this week. I mean, I don't have to fill up my car. I don't drive enough to have to do that. Let's see. Phineas says plugins are a joke and a waste. You might as well get an EV. How far do you get, Agent Kitty? The plug-in takes gas. I have one. Agent Kitty, when you plug in your car, if you don't plug in your car and you've wasted all the electricity, right? So it's no longer running on any of the electricity because it's plug-in. So you have to go strictly on gas. How far do you? Oh, here we go. My range is 330 miles with both EV and gas. That's it.
The EPA includes gas-only mileage estimates for plug-in hybrids. That's the fuel economy you'll get from a plug-in hybrid when your initial electric charge runs out. And it's a lot lower than the MPG E rating. Consider the Jeep Wrangler 4xe, which is rated at 49 miles per gallon E. I don't know what the E is for. Once its 22-mile electric range is through, drivers will only get 20 miles a gallon.
Nope. Not gonna buy it. Not gonna buy it at all. That's stupid.
Because a plug-in electric hybrid vehicle has only two modes: charge depleting, when it runs on electric power after being charged up, and charge sustaining, when it runs on hybrid mode after the electric only miles have been used up.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it would be a good choice. I wish that the 2035 thing would have included regular hybrids. I understand the desire to get off of gas, but if you're going to include plug-in hybrids, when it starts using the gas, it's not efficient. Yeah, my hybrid is efficient from beginning to end, no matter what.
They say these cars get worse mileage than a conventional car if you don't plug them in. So you have to plug them in order to make it worthwhile.
And I don't want to plug it in. Oh, and the E means equivalent according to OCB.
Okay, thank you. If you don't plug them in, some of BMW's plug-in electric hybrid vehicles get slightly worse fuel economy than their non-hybrid counterparts. Once the 2024 BMW X5 SUV's 39-mile electric range is exhausted, it only gets 21 miles per gallon, and that's 1 mile per gallon less than their conventional vehicle that's just gas-powered.
I think my 1998 Civic got way better than that. And that was a fully, two-door Honda Civic. Probably got 25. I loved that car too. I loved it. I loved my Civic, but I had kids and a two-door hatchback wasn't going to work for me. Yeah. So think about that. I'm going to probably buy another hybrid before and then that should last me until we figure it the heck out, right? My husband has a truck. He's not giving up that truck. Yeah. And I like having a truck. So I'm not going to get an EV truck.
Then will Marley get the old Prius?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're probably going to have to share it. I don't want to, I don't want a car payment. You know what I mean? No. For a while. I don't have a car payment right now. She's turning 16 next year. So we'll probably share the car. And we have another car. And my mom has a car. So if she needs to borrow my car, or she could borrow my mom's car, because my mom doesn't drive anymore. So my mom has a Toyota. What is it? It's like the Sentra? Sonata. No, it's not. I don't know. It's like it's a sporty car. It's like a two-door sporty red car. I'm telling you, she's had this car for over a decade. I feel like it still has like 40,000 miles on it. My mom does not drive. They have to put a tarp over it. I mean, the only thing wrong with it is like the seals. So like when it rains, it might leak a little bit or whatever. But the car, she has to remember to turn it on. That's how like little she drives that car. So there is a car available for me, my daughter, if she needs it or whatever. So I'm not too worried about it right away. But at the same time, I want to be able to buy a car pretty much. Oh, maybe it is a Celica. I don't know. I have to figure that out. I don't want a car payment. And she needs to start working. She needs to start making some money. I mean, come on now. Insurance, we were just talking about that. It's friggin' expensive. Absolutely. I know my daughter's not going to be like your daughter, Kim. I hope that Marley is like, I don't want to drive anymore. I don't want to drive yet and just wants to hang out at home and do all that stuff. But no, you're muted. I don't know why you're muted.
I was going to say, I like the moments I get to spend in the car with
Yes.
Julia. Sometimes those are the best conversation spots, when she kind of opens up after her day or whatever. So I'll miss those moments if she's driving herself around. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely the best time to get them to talk to you and open up, because once they're home, they go in their bedroom and it's like on the phone, talking with their friends, doing whatever. So yeah, maybe it's a Solara. I think you might be right, Jennifer. I think it is a Solara. I can't remember what the name of it is. She doesn't drive it that much. I don't see this car that often. But anyway, so yeah, keep that all in mind, you guys, because that deadline is coming. And so it's going to be a bit crazy out there as people decide what's the next car. And, obviously buying things means that they'll put more money into infrastructure, but we'll see what happens. Okay, let's do something a little bit lighter. First off, I didn't get into this. So the Niners, we now know. Did you do that? I don't think you did this in your news. They're going to be the visiting team for the Super Bowl. So they're going to be wearing the white uniform for the game. Now, it's not going to change what we're going to see in the stands. You know what I mean? Like, I think everyone's going to pretty much be wearing red no matter where you're looking. Here's the video that they just posted, and I love it. I have a Garoppolo jersey from the last time we were in the Super Bowl, and it has the Super Bowl emblem on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it's better this time around. But this was the other thing. Go ahead.
Before we move on, how do they decide who's the visiting team and who
I
isn't?
know. I don't know. They get to decide. And so I don't know how they decided. If anybody knows, you can let me know in the comments. But because Kansas City was deemed the home team, they got to choose what color uniform they wanted. And since both of the teams wear red, they chose their red uniform. And so we have to wear the white uniform. But apparently teams that wear white have been, the ones that have won the Super Bowl oftentimes. So not every time, but oftentimes. So, I want it too, Spencer. It's going to be a tough game. I'm not manifesting that. I'm just saying if we think that we're going to beat Patrick Mahomes easily, we're insane. But this was the other thing, speaking of clothing, that I was kind of surprised about. So Kristen Juszczyk, she's the wife of Kyle Juszczyk, who's a 49er. Mm-hmm. She's the one that makes those puffy jackets that you've seen, that Taylor Swift wore, Deebo Samuels wore. Mm-hmm. The NFL has given her licensing rights to continue making her jackets. I don't know why that blew my mind. Why? Because the NFL, because they lock down their all of their stuff, their merchandise, their logo, and all of that sort of stuff. I'm wondering, now this is obviously not Taylor Swift, but Taylor Swift has worn it. But Kristen Juszczyk, she is going to make friggin' bank.
All because Taylor Swift wore her jacket.
Well, and Deebo, and other people have worn it too, but obviously
when Taylor Swift wore it, everyone was like,
Taylor Swift does it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's a cute jacket. Everybody wants it. The NFL's like, oh, she's making something good here. Let's give her a license and let her go for it.
I'm surprised they didn't want to do it themselves. I mean, I think she had the patent on it or whatever, which is smart. Oh, Walter has the answer. The two participating teams, one from each respective conference, AFC and NFC, alternate between home and road each season. Okay, that seems fair.
Thanks, Walter.
Thank you, Walter. Aloha. I know, Kim. I want one of those jackets. I want the puffy jacket. Let's just take a guess. I have no idea that it's not documented because she's just been giving them to players because she can't sell it legally until now. I mean, it's not going to be for us. we're not going to be able to buy these jackets,
No.
right? I mean, there's no way I'm going to be wearing my puffy
No.
Niner coat that Kristen Juszczyk
No.
made in any way. It's going to be at least a couple $100, which I will say for a well-made jacket, unless of course like Target takes it over, right? Or something like that. Yeah, she's going to be richer than her husband. Yeah. Find a contract with NFL for the logo. I mean, I'm just surprised that, I mean, obviously they've been really popular. She's really good. Some of the things she's made, I would not wear. She makes female clothes, and some of them are little, but I'm not that age anymore, so I don't know if I would.
You mean
necessarily
like a little
wear.
slutty? Is that what you're trying to say?
But like she did this, and it was really cute. But she made this like kind of looks like a bustier type thing, and I was like, I don't even have that big a breast, and I feel like it would just fall down. You know what I mean? So, Kim says more $500. Beth says more like $800.
Yeah.
Spencer says $400.
Not affordable.
But jerseys aren't affordable. I mean, you want a good jersey, a real one, you know, not a knockoff. She's spent a couple $100.
She's making cute stuff for players' wives.
Yes.
So if is she able to like come up with some mass production deal where she can make these jackets and then the price comes down so everyone else can afford them? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Grady says, I applied for the NFL rights to make water bottle cover in 2003, got denied 3 times.
Oh, Grady.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was surprised. But it's not as if she's not saying that you're a rando to us, Grady. But, you know, obviously she's the wife of a 49er, well-known, getting a lot of good press. Louise says, as long as Jimmy G is in the stands watching the game and not on the field playing the Niners. Stop. He's a tender fellow, though. He gets injured. He just does. Unfortunately, he does. So, oh, yeah. Hold on. You want to see? I thought that everyone knew what the jackets were. Here we go. Here we go. I think I had a video, but let me just share this page and then we'll see. So there's Kristen Juszczyk on the right, on the left. There's Taylor Swift on the right, wearing the jackets. And I think there was a video. Here we go. Let's see if I can play this video.
You need to get a real job. That's just a hobby.
Anyone with a smartphone can shoot videos these days.
Why not pick a career with more stability?
Isn't it just pressing a record button?
It's a very competitive field.
How's your little business going?
You're not going to make it. Your calling is currently unavailable.
There you go. So there she is. So she just takes, and like the video shows, if you follow her on Instagram, she'll show you a basic jersey and then she'll do the scissor move and then it'll turn into something. And they're oftentimes cute. Some of them I'm like, I don't know if I'd wear it. Yeah, Kim says they're going to be mass produced in China. They won't be handmade. Well, I would want a handmade one. I would want, you know, the Kristen Juszczyk label on it if I was going to do it. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Billy says, unpopular opinion. Those aren't attractive jackets. They look cozy. I'm sorry. The puffer jacket. I think that's really cute. Yeah. I really, really do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You notice though, it's just the numbers, the players' numbers and the team colors. There's no nothing on there that says Chiefs or Niners or anything else.
Well, no, sometimes she does add to it. Yeah, sometimes she does. She's made a bunch of different ones. Let me see if I can get. I know that this isn't the hard-hitting news of the day, but it is interesting that the reason why I was so surprised by it was because they don't often, the NFL, like Grady was saying, allow people to use their logo and license that. And so, okay, here we go. Can I pause this real quickly? Here's some things, other things besides the puffer jackets that she's made. So hold on, let me do this. Here we go. This is some of the stuff that she's made. That on the left, it's kind of cute, but I wouldn't wear it. You know what I mean? The little, I don't know, leg warmers or whatever, I wouldn't make. This is the thing that I was talking about. So there's a sweatshirt, and then she made it into that. I don't know if I would do that. You know what I mean? This is a jacket. I like that. That's kind of cute. There's Niners stuff on there. So, you know, it's kind of cute. She's got some cute things on there. You know, not knocking. It's a woman's business, right? And so I am all for it. Okay. She has a Swiftie cult behind her. She's better than Trump. Yeah. The Swifties will definitely, if they can pay thousands of dollars for tickets, then they're definitely going to be doing that. So congratulations to Christian use check
So I'm
for doing
trying to
that.
find out. Someone said in here,
Mhm.
here it is, John. Taylor's what, 33 or 34, and she's acting like a high school cheerleader. I don't think just because you
Why?
wear the number of your person that you're supporting, of your loved one, that you're acting like a high school cheerleader.
If my
But then,
husband, I am
yeah,
45 years old. If my
yeah,
husband was in something that I could sport his name and face or logo, I would be doing it until I was 90 years old. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
that's love. Like, that's what you do. What are you talking about? Like, any way that you could support your
Yeah,
kid, your spouse, your partner,
yeah,
whatever, you do. Like, that's
yeah.
not being a
Plus, you
cheerleader.
say
That's being a
she's acting
supporter.
like a high school cheerleader, like it's a bad thing. Honestly, I never left that behind, so it's all still in here. It's that cheerleader's rolling around somewhere in there.
Why would you not want to be a cheerleader for anything, even if it's not
Right.
a literal
Yeah.
sports player? I'm the biggest cheerleader for my husband. He makes
Yeah.
any sort of success, I am right there, rah rah,
Yeah.
shish kumbah, right? Like, you have to cheer. There's not enough cheering going on in this world, if you ask me. We should be bringing people up. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
joke. Okay, fine, John. It was a joke. We'll let you off the hook. We won't completely vilify you for all of that.
Andrea says Klay Thompson wore one too. Oh, did
yeah,
you see all the
Dino wore
49ers at
one.
the Warriors game last night? The Warriors
Yeah.
gave them all Warriors jerseys with their names. That's so cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, that's the it's being a good human, being a good supporter, and I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. Okay, I want to speaking of things that are popular, there was another thing that surprised me that I saw. So we were talking about remember I was talking about Five Guys.
Yeah.
And we were like kind of ranking all of these things. And I was saying, you like Habit, right? Kim, you like the Habit burger. In-N-Out did not place well in this YouGov ranking of the top fast food restaurants. In-N-Out came in number 16. Oh, no. In-N-Out came number 61 on this ranking. Had a 49% popularity rating. Let's take a look at something like McDonald's. McDonald's came in at 16. If you guys have seen the article or the poll, don't answer. But anybody that hasn't, what do you think was the number one ranked fast food that was discovered by this YouGov poll? It shocked me because I don't consider it fast food.
I don't either, but apparently it is because you order it and then they hand it to you over the counter. Like,
I mean,
that.
okay, I get it. There's a lot of things that I order and people hand me quickly that I wouldn't necessarily consider. No, it's not Taco Bell. And I'll give you it's not, I mean, this will probably just give it away though. It's not hot. It's not even room friggin' temperature. It's cold. Baskin Robbins is the number one with 75% popularity rating. And then second place, which I actually can see why, is Dairy Queen. But Dairy Queen at least serves other kinds of food besides ice cream. Baskin Robbins. Does anybody think of when I say the word fast food, how long does it take you to get to Baskin Robbins? That's my thing. It wouldn't even be on my list.
No.
It would literally not be on my list. So yeah, ice cream shop Baskin Robbins was the cream of the crop, 75%. Dairy Queen second. Third, what was third? Anybody know? So it goes Baskin Robbins, Dairy Queen. What was number 3? And so I would say that number 3 is actually number 1 fast food because I still wouldn't even consider Dairy Queen fast food, even though I understand it.
Don't they have like burgers and fries?
Yeah,
and all
they
that?
do. But I still, Dairy Queen, I think just the name of it, I don't instantly think of.
We don't have those in the North Bay, I don't think.
We have it. There's a Dairy Queen not too far from
there?
me. I don't go to it often. They're the ones with the blizzards, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have that. I see them in Oregon. There's Baskin Robbins.
Oh, see, I love me a banana split.
Yeah.
Or actually, I like the Banana Royale, which has slices. It's kind of like a banana split, but smaller. No, nobody's mentioned what number 3 is yet.
I like the gold medal ribbon.
Ooh, that is my favorite.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, but I do like. Yeah. Oh, I like gold medal ribbon. That is really, really good. Nope. Not Orange Julius. That's funny. I love an Orange Julius. I know they serve other kinds of food. I would not consider it fast. It wouldn't be like if I was on Family Feud, right? If I was on Family Feud, and like we asked 100 people, Orange Julius, Baskin Robbins, Dairy Queen would not be on my list. Okay. The number 3 one was Wendy's.
Oh.
Wendy's, I've bitched about this before. Their prices are insane. I mean, I might as well be sitting down in the restaurant.
Is it really that much different than all the other ones?
I mean, I feel like Wendy's is really, really expensive. I think they're
Mm.
like, I mean, compared to McDonald's, I think Wendy's is really expensive. Their meal packages, I mean, $10, I think is too much for Wendy's, which not knocking Wendy's. They make, I will say, and I know this might gross people out, but it actually is pretty good. They make a really good fish sandwich, but it's not available all year round. It's a specialty thing. But they make a really good fish fillet sandwich. But I like.
Are we wondering what the fish is made out of? Like
Oh, yeah.
what kind
Oh,
of
cod.
fish?
Yeah,
and-
I mean, it's what they tell us it is, right? That it's
Yeah.
Arctic cod or whatever. You got to believe it. I mean,
Are we concerned about fast food fish? Because
it's not like they're giving me like grilled salmon, which I'd be like, "Ugh, don't know about that." It's frozen fish fillet. I mean, that's what it is. It's good though. It is a good sandwich. I don't know if anybody likes it. Carl's Jr. Yeah, I would say Carl's Jr. is also expensive. Let me see if I can find out. I don't know. I was trying to find the whole ranking, but this article doesn't have a link to it. Yeah, but I would say Carl's Jr. is pretty good. Okay, here it is. Okay, so let's see. Wendy's comes in number 3. And then number 4, another one that if you asked me, is this a fast food restaurant? I would not name it. Cinnabon, which I always say Cinnabon's like tagline should be, I smell better than I taste. I don't think Cinnabon's like it. I think it's too.
I look and smell better than I taste.
Yeah, you walk through a mall, you smell Cinnabon, you're like, ooh, I want that, and then you get it, and you're like, I shouldn't have eaten that. That's exactly how I feel every single time I have Cinnabon. Okay, so Cinnabon.
That's the Wendy's fish sandwich that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really good, and it's hot. I like it. I like it. I don't get it all. I don't get Wendy's all the time. I used to live across kind of down the street from a Wendy's. Yeah. Where's the nearest Wendy's around here? I'm trying to think. I don't know where the nearest Wendy's is. Oh, no, I ever do. It's right by my McDonald's. Yes, I do. It's right there. I don't go there often. I do like Taco Bell. So where do you think Taco Bell ranks? Anybody? It goes
pretty high up there. People love
pretty
Taco
high up.
Bell.
Yeah. Baskin Robbins, Dairy Queen, Wendy's, which I think is the first traditional fast food, then Cinnabon, and then Krispy Kreme, another non-fast food restaurant, and then Taco Bell comes in at number 6.
Oh.
And then KFC, which is another smells better than it tastes. The only thing I ever would eat at KFC, and I can't even remember the last time I ate there, was their popcorn chicken. I think that, I'm a crispy, crunchy fish fillet.
Yeah.
And then after KFC was Subway, rounding out the top 10, 9 fast food, Olive Garden.
That's a sit-down
not fast
restaurant.
food. That's a sit-down restaurant. But again, it's kind of like Family Feud. They asked people, and this is how people ranked them. And then Dunkin' Donuts. Now, again, it kind of goes with the Baskin and Robbins, Krispy Kreme, Dairy Queen, I guess.
This doesn't seem like fast food to me.
No. It's a really weird, but I'm just surprised by what's at the top. Then Chili's, not fast food. Yeah. IHOP, not fast food. Outback, not fast food. Denny's, not fast food. The Cheesecake Factory, 15th. And then McDonald's. Wow. And then Five Guys. A&W. Who's been to an A&W? Oh, Katie just mentioned it. I miss A&W. There used to be one in St. Helena.
So I don't know about you, but in Petaluma and I think in San Francisco, the KFC and A&W have combined.
Yeah, they do those combinations.
Yeah.
I feel like KFC and is it Arby's? Who's been to an Arby's lately? I feel like I see more commercials for Arby's than I actually see Arby's.
Right.
Excuse me. I don't feel like I don't see that at all. So then there's Arby's, then Red Lobster. Red Lobster.
That's not a fast food restaurant.
Nope.
Now, do they have everything pre-made in the back and just have to drop boiling packets in water? Maybe. It's not like it's all freshly made, right?
Well, and now that I'm looking more closely at it,
it's
so
a chain restaurant is different than fast food restaurant, though.
Yeah, because now that I'm looking at this more closely, SF Gate had couched this whole article as fast food.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just opened up I looked at the headline, and it's saying the most popular dining brands. Now that changes everything. Yeah. But I still wouldn't put Baskin Robbins at the top. I mean, Even if I was going to say, what is the top dining
Baskin Robbins
brand?
is pretty good.
It is good, but like, is it the number one place that you would go to? If I was like, what is your favorite dining brand? I'd still say Taco Bell.
You'd say Taco Bell.
Taco Bell it's easy. I mean, could it be cheaper? Should it maintain, cheaper prices? Absolutely.
I don't think I have my favorite dining
If you had to go out to
brand.
eat, if you had to go out to eat today,
It's local stuff. It's all local stuff.
Nope. You have to go chain.
Starbucks.
The number one. Oh, let me see where Starbucks is. I don't know where Starbucks is on this list.
That's probably the only chain that we frequent, and it's only because my daughter is into Starbucks.
Let me search Starbucks. Yeah. I didn't know I could search. Let's see. Guess where it ranks. Starbucks.
Is it what, 11th?
58th.
Wow.
58.
Okay.
And that surprised me because we're talking about the most popular dining brand.
This study is bogus. Something's wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
More people go to Starbucks on a daily. More people go to Starbucks on a daily basis than Baskin Robbins. I'm sorry.
I mean, the last time I went to Baskin Robbins actually wasn't too long ago because I had promised the kids some ice cream, and so we went, and we just went. Oh, because my sister-in-law and everyone was there, and we went out for ice cream. I love ice. I do like ice cream, but it's nothing that I crave that much, unless. If we have like drumsticks in the house, we go through that box in like 2 seconds. I love drumsticks. And with the cookie, I like it with the nuts on top, like the peanuts, but now they make it with like crunch, like in the chocolate instead of nuts. That's good. I know. All right. Well, I disagree with the rankings, of course, but
yeah, no, there's something wrong with that study.
All right. Well, we have one more food story. Sorry to whoever hated all the food topics, but I love talking about food. Here's a hack, apparently, that a celebrity is into. That anybody, and I know Kim's answer is no, but I've done this. I don't do it all of the time. Anybody have a beer shower or shower beer? Like you drink beer in the shower, you drink a cocktail or drink wine or whatever your alcoholic or favorite beverages in the shower. Do anybody eat or drink in the shower? No. I've had a beer in the shower. Like on a hot summer day, you're chugging your beer, you're going to go take a nice cold shower and you drink a beer. I've done that a few times. Not all the time,
maybe
but I have.
In Maui with an outdoor shower. Not inside.
You get naked in Maui and taking an outdoor shower?
Oh, you're in your swimsuit, rinsing all the sand off in the outdoor shower.
That doesn't count. Okay.
My mom says something to me when I was a little kid, and it is, bathrooms are a place where things come out, not where you put things in.
I'm going to remember that now. I mean, have you never, are you telling me that, I'm not saying going to the bathroom, okay? Yeah. But have you never gotten ready in the bathroom and had a cup of coffee?
No, because I don't drink coffee.
Or an iced tea or whatever the hell you're drinking in the morning?
No. Mm-mm.
You've never brought a drink to the bathroom to get ready?
No.
Okay. You live in
But I don't get ready in there either, so,
Oh, there you go.
I take a shower, I dry off.
So, like, I'll have a cocktail in the shower because, like, if I blow dry my hair or diffuse my hair, I'm in there for, like, a half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
So I have my phone with my TV and I have my drink. Like, I'm drinking in there,
Do you make sure that everyone flushes with the lid down?
The lid closed? Yes.
Because if you don't, then there could be all kinds of stuff flying around in there landing in your drink.
You slam... You slam it, or it's a slow, really, whatever. You put down the lid and you flush the toilet.
That's right.
You stand up, whatever you've done.
Right.
You close the lid, you flush the toilet.
To keep all those particles contained.
Yes. Like, come on. Especially in your bathroom where your toothbrush is in probably very close proximity. Although mine's inside my medicine cabinet. So I keep the door shut on my medicine cabinet. So my toothbrush is always kind of protected. But still, it's still gross. You have to shut the lid. Absolutely. Yeah. Sandy says, I would never eat or drink while taking a shower. That sounds totally unsanitary, and it also doesn't sound enjoyable. How do you know you have a drinking problem? You're drinking in the shower.
Yeah, exactly. You can't set it down for 20 minutes or 10 minutes while you take a shower?
Is there a difference between me sitting in my own filth in a bathtub and enjoying a glass of wine and standing in a shower where the filth is being put down the drain and having a beer? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
BS. I call BS.
the whole ambiance of a bath is like relaxing.
Laying in filth. I am not a
There's
I'm not a
no
bath person.
hurry. There's no rush. I'm not a bath person either. But there's there's a relaxing bubble bath aspect. When you're taking a shower, you're in there for business. You're in there. You're gonna get clean. You're in. You're out. Maybe the hot water feels good, but you're moving on.
Oh, I love to stand in it.
There's
I come
no
out looking like a
lingering.
lobster sometimes. I like it so hot.
Me too.
I
Yeah.
love, like sometimes James
Hot
will be like, "Your
shower.
glow, like your head is red." Like
Kids are like, why is your back all red?
I like pinpricks because it's so
Yeah.
hot from the shower. John says, I have a Diet Cola sometimes while I'm reading in the bathtub. Okay, apparently laying in your own soup is okay. Gordon says, I'd be afraid of dropping a bottle in the shower. I mean, it's usually, I don't bring glass in the shower, but if I have, and I'm not talking about doing this all the time, people, but I have had a
Do
nice
you
cold Coors Light
regularly-
can. Huh.
You regularly drink beer in the shower?
No, I'm saying I don't but I have enough to say I have done it. It's not like it was a one-off. And usually it's because it's usually summertime. I'm usually drinking the beer. I got to get ready. And you just pound a nice cold beer in a hot shower. It's...
I guess you and Jessica Biel feel the same way, huh?
So that's why, there we go. So Jessica Biel is an actress. She's Justin Timberlake's wife. She says that she recently ate a blood orange in the shower at the recommendation of her TikTok followers as part of what she's calling her movement, which is not a good word to use, to get more people to eat in the shower. So she posted this TikTok of her eating it. I didn't even know what it was at first. Like I was like, what is that? And it's her eating the blood orange in the shower. And I'm just thinking, okay, here we go. I'll show you the video. Hold on. Here we go. So here she is eating the
first shower eating recommendation. As you all know, I am food that you can eat in the shower. I've never tried an orange in the shower. It was recommended to me, and I'm stoked. I'm about to give it a go. This one happens to be my favorite, a blood orange. Oh, so beautiful. Okay, let's see. Yum.
I don't know if I've ever eaten a blood orange. Well,
keep your mouth closed. Water.
She's wasting water, which bothers me to no end.
Is it the best I've ever had? I don't know. But I'm into the citrus. My citrus is really good. Thank you.
Okay, so was that gross to you?
No, weird. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know about eating food. I draw the line. Like a can of beer or a soda or something, that's one thing. Food?
No.
Because then, like, what if scraps go down the drain? That drain is not meant to have particles like that go down.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Oh my God, hold on.
Can you just not wait 10 minutes till you get out of the shower to eat something?
My boyfriend, Heather Rice, was snacking on shrimp cocktail one afternoon when I was in the shower and brought me a shower shrimp. I thought it was hilarious. And you ate it, didn't you? You ate it.
Which is cool. I mean, that's funny and kitschy. And I'm not saying never do it. I'm just saying, like, as a regular habit, I find it a little odd.
Admitting we have a problem is the first step to recovery, Nikki. I do not have a problem. Soda in the shower? No. I definitely think like the whole sensory aspect of it, perhaps. And I bet you anything, her shower is like gigantic, right? Like my shower is not that big.
Well, you saw the cavernous, thing. You couldn't even see the
She
the
could have a
shower
towel
head.
on, the
Yeah.
water on, and
Yeah.
not be getting wet. Keep your mouth closed. She wasn't anywhere close to the water. I don't think I've ever had a blood orange. I feel like if anything I've ever had, I feel like a mimosa, like someone's had like blood orange juice and made a mimosa out of it. I think that's the closest I've ever gotten to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know about eating. Apparently, according to a professor of food safety at the University of Florida, there doesn't appear to be much research on the health risks of eating in the shower. But they write, the organisms in your shower are probably no worse or no better than the harmful organisms that can fill up the kitchen. The biggest concern would be the potential for fecal contamination in the food. And I don't know if there is any additional risk there either. I would say eating very hot food while naked could be problematic. And then, of course, if you're eating in the shower, you're prolonging the shower and you're wasting water. So
it just seems very unsanitary to me.
You know, though, your kitchen is one of the most unsanitary places in your house, in all honesty.
I would like to argue that point.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not good, but I'm a Clorox wipe user.
Yes, I am
My
too. I am a
surfaces
spray,
are clean.
spray it down. But like I was mentioning before, sometimes we don't even realize the contamination that is still there,
Right.
that we're doing. You know what I've always wanted, and we're running out of time. I always want one of those soap dispensers next to my kitchen, so I never have to touch the soap dispenser, like the automatic one. I want one of those. I think I'm gonna have to splurge for myself a little bit, because every time I touch the soap, when I want to clean my hands, I'm always like, ugh, and you have to wash the outside of the bottle, and it's just freaking nasty. It's just nasty. Well, thanks for everybody going down that food rabbit hole with me today. Tomorrow, again, we will be talking about PG&E and those friggin' bills we've all been getting, and the fact that apparently they are not possibly going to go with the idea of tying our bills to our income. Loretta Lynch, former CPUC president, will be on with us. And then I want to ask her, who's leading the protest to Governor Newsom in the offices of the CPUC? Let's get one going, people. Let's go and protest. Everywhere the governor is, we should be screaming and yelling about it. Some thank yous to those that have donated to the show. Spencer came in with a $5 donation. Thank you so much. Joe with $10.
Yay.
Love that super sticker. Thank you also to Pamela with a $10 donation. And yes, Chip will be on with us every Wednesday. Doug with $5. And then Blue Spark, $10 donation and a recommendation to watch Frontline from last night. So we will, I will try to see if I can find that. That's usually on PBS. So we should do that as well. All right. Stay here. Mark Thompson is going to be on, and then the after party with Kim and John. Please go to thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com, and sign up for our monthly Patreon. We depend on you to keep this show going. It's 100% crowd-funded, and we appreciate each and every one of you as well. If you want to PayPal us, and I know so many of you like to use it that way, go to paypal.com, hit the send button, and then put in the email, thenikkimedoroshow@gmail.com, thenikkimedoroshow@gmail.com. The merch shop, thenikkimedoroshop.com. Make sure you're subscribed, share with your friends, and we will see you tomorrow, which is Thursday, February 1st.
Yes.
Can you believe it's almost February? All right, love you guys.
Can't believe it.
Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. Miss Brown, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.